the way I approach this look, so I've already pre-cut the other side. So so if you can see, so what I'm working with is more of like a layer system, or sorry, I apologize, more of like a tier layer system. So I'm working with multiple points of disconnection all throughout the hair. So I've already done one part of the tier here of disconnection. So working with my fingers coming straight out, kind of leaving a bit more weight in the perimeter. Then I'm going to the next one. So I will be working with vertical sections, but I'm going to be working with completely 180-degree layering, working with flat layering there. So now you can see I also have panels of disconnection throughout here. So I have my next tier where I'm going to be doing the same thing. But then I also have this other tier where I will be approaching the layering a little bit differently. Then when we look on the other side, you're going to see this bright neon green and yellow panel of disconnection. So I'm going to be approaching that as well. So the key thing is for myself, I'm going to be working with vertical sections going throughout this way, throughout. Working over my fingers, and I'm just going to be working this just flat layering throughout here. So I will have a little bit of a panel of disconnection coming over. And there's multiple different ways you can style this. I mean, for myself, you know, it's like, you know, working with a bit more of like a natural feeling to the hair. I will probably work with a little more of like a straighter feeling, and then maybe infuse a bit more texture in the end with a bit of styling product and styling it. So, but please let me know where you are watching from. So right now I am back at home in Edinburgh, Scotland, where I live. And yeah, so I was just on a 3-week tour. Well, I was 2 weeks in Leicester in England and teaching, and then I just got back. I was in Prague, I was in Serbia, and also Bucharest for a product company called Kaplan Fawcett. So we did a nice tour, and I just got back a day or two ago. So I'm very excited to be back here. So please let me know in the comment section where you are watching from. So here we go. So like I said, I'm going to be working with a tier system. So really kind of doing multiple panels of disconnection. And I will be working with a bit of a undercut with clippers towards the front. And yeah, and then you see I'm also going to be using my hair cutting razor as well. So we got Melbourne, we also got Singapore. Brilliant. So each section I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be slowly over directing to the previous, just so I can see my guide. So I don't want it to be too heavy towards the front, even though I will be working with a panel. Like I said, I will be using the clippers. I just got my brand new, if you see these bad boys, oh, they're so beautiful. They're from Andis, and they're called Envy, or US Pro, they're called. They have two names, depending where you are in the world. And so I'm going to be using that just for doing a tiny bit of a, just in the front panel here, where a lot of the clients prefer just taking that a little bit short in the sideburn area. So, still working vertical sections. Yeah, especially with, I do prefer taking the sideburns off, especially, I mean, these are pivot point mannequins, which I absolutely love. But the only thing is, it's the sideburns are a little bit too much, I think. So, here we go. So I am filming this myself, so if you do have any questions, please put them in the comment section. And my final panel. So I did color this myself today. So working with a bit of, especially working with the black base color, and then I pre-lightened the other side. Working with, on the mannequin, I was able to get away with using 9% or 30 volume with lightener. And then I pre-lightened it, and then I used the neon green and the yellow afterwards. So now at this point here, I'm just going to be taking this off right. We'll just double check the other side. So I'm just going to be just taking this off here. So, like I said, I will be just removing this. The reason why, with a little bit of clipper of a comb. So, and then I could do a freehand technique working with an open lever of my clipper blade here. Now, I mean, myself personally, I mean, I absolutely love these. I literally just got, you know, I had them, you know, arrive when I got back. And they're absolutely, they're lovely. I love the color. It's a very interesting color scheme. Because everywhere you look, it's a different color. So yeah, I'm just doing this freehand here. Just taking away, if you see, by working this freehand, okay, all I'm doing is making sure my thumb is a little bit higher. And I'm just kind of rocking it, almost like a C motion technique. Because that's like something, that is something that, that you'll see that a lot of times with the client that they do like it a little bit shorter here, just so it kind of like just tucks behind the ear a lot better. So now I'm just going to be using the trimmers. I'm going to be edging up. And it's matching colorway. Look at those. And then I can actually just use, if I need to, use my scissor or comb technique just to refine it. You can also do, if you want to, if you really want to refine your fade and working with the color, I'm actually going to be point cutting into the fade, just by taking a certain amount of weight off there. The hair is sticking to the face. I did leave a little bit of like a, almost like a bit of pomade around, so I wouldn't stain the mannequin when I was coloring it. So, okay. So what I'm now going to do is, okay, I'm now going to work to the next tier. Once again, in this case here, I will be working, once again, with vertical section still. And I will be bringing this straight up because remember, the higher you elevate, the more weight you're going to be removing. So. So, I'm going to continue. So I'm going to be taking sections going this way. Making sure that I'm pulling this up. Once again, so I have various, remember there are different, every tier, you might say, or layers, or panels of disconnection. I'm starting brand new, starting a new guide for each one. So then afterwards, I'm going to have this really kind of cool texture. And then, yeah, so it's something, I think it's a great way, especially if your client doesn't want maybe such a solid looking hairstyle. So, by working over the fingers, you know, normally with men's cutting, we're constantly blending it. We're constantly keeping strong square shapes. So what I'm trying to do is the complete opposite. And by working with different panels, I will, you know, just having different panels of disconnection. So really kind of giving a bit more exaggerated feeling to the hair. So yeah. So it's just like a different approach to your men's work, where by trying different things, you know, and just having a bit of fun, you know, it's something I haven't done in a very long time, but just something that I'm working with, you know, the panels of this connection, and trying to give that complete movement to the hair. So now I'm going to continue this here. So you can see my guide, working this straight up. And like I said, this will have, like I said, various different points of disconnection coming out. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from as well. I'll give you a bit of a shout out. So we already have Singapore and Melbourne. So yeah. Here we go, final section. Yeah. So if you can see how it's just tucking behind the ears, you know. So like a lot of guys with longer length of hair, I remember when I had hair a very long time ago, and it was long, I was able to tuck behind my ears. So this is a really cool thing, a cool way to really kind of like, you know, give it such an exaggerated effect. And you'll see afterwards, I'm going to work with the hair cutting razor to really give a very strong, disconnected, exaggerated textured effect. So, yeah. So at first, I will be working more like a technical shape, but then afterwards, you'll see the freedom I'm going to create, and also almost like a personalization of it all. And also something that we're keeping in mind, that we're trying to create something quite unique for your guest or for your client. So instead of just doing the same thing over and over, you know, it's just trying to get them excited about it. And also really, you know, just having that bit of fun with the hair. You know? So really just discussing things. You know, I would actually, you know, this is not necessary for every type of, you know, client, but something, it's not something that, you know, possibly that goes for every, you know, classic look. I am slightly I was just looking at the question. So Kenny, I am slightly bending the head a little bit, just more for myself to get in there, and also because I have lighting around me, it's a bit tight space here. So yeah, that's a great question. I do also like to keep it a little bit, you know, sometimes I'll keep it slightly bent for the client, you know, for myself, the comfortability as well. So now I'm bringing it sort of backwards in a way. I just used water just to really kind of, here we go. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, so I will be I'm going to be working with sections going this way and pulling it straight up. So, here we go. So I do have I will be taking, I'll show you real quick the green panel here, because that's going to be something, let's see, I don't know if you guys can see. So that's going to be quite cool there. So, I'm going to keep this off to the side, and we're going to work on that afterwards. So now I'm going to be working with a more of like a strong disconnected layer on top here. So working through out here. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to be, like I said, just working a total brand new. Here we go. So once again, so I'm working on a tier system of cutting hair. So I have almost different panels of disconnection. So I'm not doing a blended haircut whatsoever, but I want to give the illusion of length and create almost a very interesting type of dimension to the hair. So, so when my client, my guest, he'll be able to style it in different ways. So I think it's just something that it's not a classic type of look. This is something for more of your creative clients. So working throughout here, working over my fingers. Here we go. Yeah. There we go. And my final. So each section, I'm working over my fingers. By working over my fingers, I'm going to be creating a bit more of a flatter shape. Now, I'm going to continue, and I'll be just stopping at the parietal ridge, which is kind of like my final area. Now, the reason why I'm taking sections this way, by taking sections across the head this way, I will end up reducing more weight, as opposed to going across the head like so. So right now I'm filming this in Edinburgh, Scotland. So my name's Sid Satang. So thank you for joining us tonight. I am a freelance educator. I'm one of the regular educators here on Hairbrained. I do live video tutorials on anything from men's, women's cutting, about twice a month and everything. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm very grateful, and yeah. So we're gonna just have a bit of fun tonight. Well, it's tonight for me. I know it's in the afternoon in America. So I'm originally from America. I'm originally from New York area. So it's just great to be back here on Hairbrained. And yeah, so hopefully you'll be able to see some of my education in America, maybe this year. You never know. So I'm a freelance educator, so I travel to various salons, academies. I work for various product companies, bringing the education to your doorstep. So here we go. I'm going to continue. So you can see sections this way. And I really just want to kind of create, taking this weight off here. So this is, like I said, I'm really focusing on lots of various points of disconnection. So yeah, so if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know in the comment section. Okay, we're going to have one more section here. Oh, maybe two. So I will be slowly pulling it towards the middle a tiny bit, just because I do want to keep some length. And yeah. And so I got one more section I'm going to be taking. Pulling this straight up. But yeah, please let me know if you have any questions. So just doing a creative men's style here. Something working on a tier system. So it's not continuous layering. So it's not going to be a blended layering at all. So I'm working with different panels. Yeah, so I'm still cutting flat. Still keeping it flat, but my final section was starting to veer off a little bit, just because of the curvature of the head from the parietal ridge going into the temple bone area. So hopefully that answered. So I'm keeping everything flat, Kenny. So hopefully that answered your question. Okay. There we go. So keeping, and you'll see I'm going to be, like I said, I'm really going to be working with a bit more fun with the texturizing. Oh, there we go. So you can really see some of that cool color there. So, okay, now I'm actually going to be working with the razor. So I'm going to have a bit more fun. I will be working on wet hair with the razor. So let me just, yeah. Like I said, so I like to work with a variety of different type of tools and cutting techniques within my creative work. So here we go. So with this one here, so it's the Feather Plier razor. Sorry, I apologize. And I will be using this just especially on the green hair there. So I really want to kind of give, you know, really kind of like a very almost like chaotic or like a bit of a freedom to the hair. So now, so I will be taking sections. So I will be kind of going with the hair. So also with the way the growth or the stitching is. So we're going to be taking section going this way. And I'm going to kind of like veer off a little bit. And I will be going from shorter to longer. So I still want to keep some length towards the front or weight. And then we're going to see how it looks when it's dry. Then you'll see when the hair is all dry, I'm then going to be working a variety of different type of texturizing techniques to really give almost like a bit more chaos to the hair. So I want total freedom to the hair. So. But yeah, I really want to, let's see, I just really want to have, you know, have a bit more fun. There we go. So I think I am cutting some of the yellow off. It did have a little, I did color it with a bit of yellow as well. But we'll see. I'll see if I can try to keep some. It does feel a little bit, especially working with the pre-lightener and everything. I think it, here we go. But for me, I love using the razor just because it just really gives that chaos or that freedom to the hair. And, you know, it's, especially if you want that more of like an editorial effect to the hair, that freedom. You know, for the longest time, I didn't use the razor at all. You know, and that's why I love using the razor, because it just gives me that complete freedom. So especially, you know, when I want to, you know, style it, it just had this like very obscure, very, you know, different type of texture, you know, and I think this is such a great, you know, a great tool to have, you know, especially when you are working with the razor. You're taking off a lot of weight, you're giving a lot of freedom. I could have done the whole haircut with the razor as well. So I just chose to use the scissors before, you know, so you have, you know, a variety. So depending on, like, it really just depends on what you're trying to achieve. You know, there's no right or wrong way of doing hair cutting. You know, we all are artists, and artists work with their hands, their mind, and their heart. So, there we go. But no, I think that the green is quite cool there. I'm really quite excited about that, so. So what I'm now going to do is I'm actually going to be working with the blow dryer. And so I'm going to be blow drying this. And then you'll see, then I'm going to be working with a lot of freedom, a lot of, you know, a lot of texturizing. So that could be with the razor again, and also working with my scissors. But just you can see, just by working with that tier system, I have a lot of different layers, a lot of different panels of hair. And yeah, so something, you know, something that the clients can, like, you know, like in a way, that's especially something different to the hair. You know, just something a bit of fun. So, but what I'm going to now do is I'm going to be blow drying the hair. So usually with men's hair, I tend to, it's quite popular to put sea salt spray. So I'm going to put a little bit of sea salt spray just to kind of give it a little bit of a hold in a way, you know. You can use a variety of different type of products, whatever you kind of really fancy. And also something, you know, you can also dress it as well. You can dress it that it's a bit more natural. So meaning you can show your client how to work with a diffuser or just to let it air dry. So the choice is yours, you know. So it's all about having a bit of fun. So I will, since I'm going to be doing some more cutting for this, I'm going to be blow drying it. So I will be using, I'm actually going to be using a very flat brush here. So this is called a vest brush. And I'm going to be using this just to really kind of flatten this down, just a bit more control. And yeah, so, and you're going to see that it's really, I really want to break out, you know, working with that color afterwards and really just doing a variety of different type of texturizing techniques and so forth. Cool. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So if there's any questions or anything, please put them into the comments section. And you're going to see that you'll see how I'm going to be really refining this at the end. So make sure you keep on watching. Going with the wrap drying, I really want to go back and forth with my nozzle and the blow dryer with the brush. So by going back and forth, I'm really trying to control. I really want to control the hair. Now instead of going up in the air, I'm following the head shape. So that's how it's going to, you know, one, I can really, you know, flatten it down. But at the same time, I can control the ends of the hair as well. And then, just say if you wanted body, I would actually blow dry it across the head like so. But since I want this to be a very natural effect, I want to blow dry this flat. So I mean, for the actual look, I might even actually, you know, you can always use a bit of irons there, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Perfect, and you're going to see the way the tier system, how everything's working, and also the color is going to be popping out here. So yeah, you can see the variety of different tones of color that I used. And yeah, so please let me know how it's looking so far, guys. Yeah, just going to increase the speed. Around. And because of the type of look I want to create, I'm also going to be probably just touching it up with irons as well. And then you'll see the way I'm going to be applying a little bit of product at the end to kind of bring out the texture again. Right, something that so it's something that is like, you know, a fun look. Like I said, it's got the three tier system of, you know, different panels of hair. see that green poking through. And I think that's one of the things. It's like, talk to your clients, your men about color. Remember, it's just like when you offer color to your haircuts, you're bringing your haircuts to life with, you're seeing it in almost like it's like 3D in a way. I love men with color. So. Going to continue working with that nozzle. So. Okay, there we go. Great. So what I'm now going to do is I'm literally just going to be just touching up the hair with the straightening irons, just because it's not, like I don't want to overcomplicate the styling for your clients or for the guest or anything. It's just that just for me with the cutting, I just want to kind of just really just go over with the straighteners very quick. And then I'm going to really work on the refining with the scissors and also with the hair cutting razor. So, like I said, I'm really trying to aim for lots of texture, a variety of different areas of disconnection, just so I can really give a very unique look for the client. Yeah. So once again, I'm really just focusing, just giving the irons. And also at the same time, I'm also able to, when I'm working with the irons, I'm also able to, almost like do a little more of like a flatter look. So this is like a combination. If you think about it, I don't know, I think I'm going for like a bit of like Motley Crue back in the day, So it's a bit like, metal, emo feel to the hair. So... I don't know if that's, if that's the correct saying, so. But yeah, so please let me know where you guys are watching from. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I do apologize. So, this is what I get for filming this myself, so. I'm trying to multitask. So please let us know where you're watching from, where you are in the world, and yeah, please forgive me for dropping my my mannequin here. So once again, so you'll see various points of disconnection. So working with the tier system, I'm just quickly running the irons through the hair, just to kind of give more or less just a smoother effect to when I'm cutting the hair. So there we go. But yeah, let us know in the comments section where you're watching from, and yeah, so yeah, no, hello Katrina, great to see you again. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, I hope your learners, your students are doing very well at your college. So we're starting our tour of the colleges So I'm going to Liverpool College on Tuesday to be conducting demonstrations for the group. So yeah, so I'm very excited. Yeah. There we go. Cool. So yeah. This bit's annoying me. So okay, let me just move this on over here a little bit, and then yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. So I'm loving this green here. So I'm really loving the color that I created. So if you guys can see, and then here we go. Remind myself not to film this again. So I think it's quite nice working with the if you see, working with that color. So once again, I'm just working with the irons back again. There we go. I think that color is really cool. So yeah, quite proud of myself. And then let me just do one last, and then I'm going to get into the hair cutting. So. Okay, so as we can see here, so I'm now going to be working with a bit more of the texturizing here, so going back over areas. Now, you have a couple of different options, so the way I'm going to be approaching it, first, I like to do point cutting first, and then afterwards, then I will then be working with also slicing, working with slicing throughout the hair, and also working with my hair cutting razor as well. So, but what I did was there's all three different panels or tiers of working with flat layering. So there are three different areas of disconnection popping over. So I worked with brand new gods each time. Then the green. So if you see the green here, I worked with more of a hair cutting razor, working from shorter to longer. Then on this panel, I worked with flat layering, but I was more or less going vertical with this panel, then I slowly veered off, especially with the curvature of the head here. But you can really see, I'm kind of trying to really work with that color here. So, working with the panel, and working with that disconnection. Yeah, it's I think that's the one thing is when you are, working with your clients, just having that bit of fun to the hair, and get them excited, and that's why it's just like, talk to them about color, talk to them about, different, with hair cutting, it doesn't necessarily all have to be connected, give them that rock and roll finish to the hair. Now working with slicing. So as I'm working with slicing here, so I'm going down over, even a little bit of disconnection right here. I worked with the clippers here. So he's got quite a few things happening here, so which is quite cool. So okay, I'm just gonna give myself a little bit more room here. So here we are. Now you can see different panels of disconnection. Going through here. And by working with that now, you can also give the illusion of blending it. So even though you have the different panels of disconnection here, so. Hello, James. All right, we got James. Hello there. So thank you very much for saying hello. It's getting a little bit lonely here. But if you guys have any questions here, please let me know. And yeah, so right now I'm working just more of like a freehand, working throughout here. So thank you, James. And I think the thing is, you know, you can see in how the color really like pops out now. Because what happens is, let me take a look here. So working with that color, especially the way it's designed, you know, going from this way throughout here, it's just like just having that bit of fun to the hair, you know, working with taking off the weight in certain key areas. And yeah, so thank you very much, James. I'm glad you like it here. So here we go. So I don't know if you can really see that. Here we go. I'm gonna, ooh, here we go. Working with that disconnection here. So different panels of disconnection here. So. Now, I'm gonna just move around this way so you can kind of see that shape. And then, yeah, so once again, so we have multiple different layers or tier system. Just imagine about, I'd say about the width going all the way up, and each one I worked with square layering or flat layering, bringing vertical sections and pull it straight up flat. And then the next one, I did the same thing. So we have different points of disconnection coming over. So that's why we're going to have that kind of like that freedom, that movement to the hair. But now I'm going back in and just working a bit more freehand, just to kind of going throughout. You know, just something a little bit, I just want something a little bit different. You know, just to be able to kind of create that rock and roll, kind of like that freedom. Just think, you know, Motley Crue back in the, if we think about the late 90s. So, working a little bit of slicing. Before, I was using my hair cutting razor. You could do the whole haircut with the hair cutting razor. So, the choice is yours. So. Yes, I just got back from my European tour. So we were in Prague, we were in Serbia, Belgrade, and also we were in Bucharest, Romania. So that was a brilliant tour. I'm definitely tired because I was also in England for about 2 weeks, and I came back for a day in Edinburgh, and then I flew out. So it was definitely a very, very long trip. So yeah, there we go. And we also, like I said, we also got that another part of disconnection underneath, a little bit of an undercut. So really just having that bit of fun. But you'll see, it's just like, you know, working something a little bit different from men's cutting. You know, it doesn't always have to be, you know, the same short back and sides or fade in a way. So. And once again, so you got the hair cutting razor as well. So if you want to kind of create a little bit more texture. So the choice is yours, that bit of freedom to the hair. So. But yeah. So you have that disconnection going through here. There we go. But you can kind of see, especially working with that, you know, that fringe area where that green area is. So going through. And then let's just see how it's going on top here. So I also have these shorter panels throughout. And then let me just do the other side, and then we can get into styling the hair. So coming around, here we go. So I'm actually just picking this up here and going back through. Yeah, I think I'm a bit more jet lagged, I think a little bit. So I'm not performing at my ultra best, you might say. So there we go. But it's been just really enjoying. You know, I loved, you know, cutting hair and also sharing knowledge, and yeah, just having that bit of fun to the hair. So there we go. I think he's looking quite cool. Still very masculine look, but I think the color really works. I just. There we go. So I want that complete freedom to the hair, you know, a bit more of a rock and roll image, and like I think it you know, seeing how the color, you know, really plays a part. So, but yeah, so sorry about the dropping of the mannequin head. I do apologize. I'm so embarrassed, but I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's live video tutorial. I will be using a bit of product in the hair to really kind of bring out the texture. So now, when we are deciding about product for the hair, so there's multiple different things. So depending, you know, about the weight of the product to go with the density of the hair. So, for example, so if you're going to be using like more like a putty or a cream, that's going to be a little bit heavier. Now, if you want it to be quite big in a way, you might either want to use a spray or you can use styling powder. So, but it all depends if you want hold or if you just want volume and so forth. So that's why in this case, I really want to, I'm going to be working with a bit more of like a spray wax, just because I really want to be able to have a bit of hold, and I don't want it to be too heavy. That's the reason why I'm choosing a spray wax formula. So, yeah, you can see. Throughout here, yeah. So, like I said, we do have these different panels or different tier system going through. So, yeah, so you can kind of see that shape there. So, I think it's looking quite cool there. So, well, I hope you guys are into it, you know. It's like I said, I just want to do something quite creative, because this is something that we're going to be like, you know, like I'm actually launching a new online class or program, which is based on, everything's going to be based on creativity. So both men's cutting and also ladies cutting, and that's going to be launched in June. So you can check out my Instagram for more information regarding that, especially when that's coming out. That's coming out, like I said, in June this year. So please, my Instagram is Sid Sultan Academy. And yeah, so please come and check us out. So let me get the hair off the client here. So put this here. But yeah, like I said, you have different ways about styling it. You know, you can spread it out. I mean, you'll see the way I'm going to be styling it. I really want to give it a nice, almost like kind of like cool, sort of like, you know, texture to it. So it definitely looks styled, but it's not. So just using just a little bit off to the side to kind of like show. coming, you can have a bit of coming out behind the ear and coming out here. So just having a bit of fun with that. So. There we go, everyone. And just going through here. Okay, everyone, so this is kind of my finished result here. So a bit more, almost like more of like a textured, kind of like punky, metal type of feeling, you know, especially working with the tier system of cutting hair. So almost working with various panels of disconnection go throughout. So I think that's the key thing, is working when thinking past, you know, oh, thank you very much, Katrina. Thank you, Kenny. I think thinking past, you know, your traditional, you know, where everything has to be blended, the whole haircut. Working with the panel of working with flat layering or square layering, and then working the next one and starting a brand new guide, and then working the next one, starting a brand new guide. So we have that variety of different panels coming over, and then also using a variety of different tools, so such as your hair cutting scissors and also your hair cutting razor. And then, you know, just having that bit of fun to the hair. So just even especially with the styling and working with different tools, hair cutting razor, clippers, and also hair cutting scissor. All right, everyone.